Honey, I am not packing the Coco Mademoiselle in the same box with Sol de Janeiro. The Coco's not even a mist. He gets to the round table or whatever for his meetings, and the other knights all start murmuring, what the hell is going on with Sir Practical Trousers over there?
The apocalyptic triumphator, and particularly Grand Luciferin Theophany.
No.
What?
Ian Fanny on tour now.
Theophany.
Or do
Theophany.
the Confederate soldiers on his phone, and they're like, God damn it, John, don't break the fourth wall.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.
Sinead O'Connor died.
Yeah. Some people are just, I believe, and especially seems to run among the very, very talented are also very, very fragile and very, very volatile people. I don't know why those two things go together, honestly, but it just seems like, they're almost, they burn too bright for this world.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the first album, the Cobra and was it the Cobra and the Lion and the Cobra? That was really good, but I really didn't follow her much after that. But I tell you what, if you read about it, what a firecracker! 4 divorces. She became an ordained priest. Then she wrote letters to 3 different popes asking them to excommunicate her. We all know about tearing up the picture of the Pope because of the child abuse that she already knew about, that everyone else would come to learn about later in the Catholic Church. Then she converted to Islam. Her son committed suicide. Every album would take a wild musical change. Like she had that big, she got in a fist fight with Prince. She toured with Peter Gabriel, and then she left him. Crazy. So yeah, I mean, she was a handful, that Sinead O'Connor.
She's survived by 3 children.
Very rock and roll.
One of which, Kyle, is actually in the music industry. So keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Now her streams and record sales will go through the roof because death is the ultimate promotion.
Yeah.
As we know. So anyway, what else do you want to talk about?
Lots of trips, lots of tearing it down.
Lots of vegetables in the garden. My God.
Yeah. The harvest has started coming in. I don't always post like some people post their haul of the day, but we learned our lesson with the habaneros last year, I believe. Now we scaled back a little bit. The habaneros were almost a little too much to take. So we scaled back. We have jalapenos, and we have 2 other types of peppers, and our first eggplants come in. So
I talk to the jalapenos every day and go out there and water them. Like, all right, guys, we're going to be super spicy. We're going to let you age to the perfect age. I have faith in you guys. Yeah. So don't you guys talk to your garden? And then we got enough cucumbers to start a cucumber stand, basically.
I'll be pickling later.
Well, me too, but in a different way. Once we get the beers out. So anyway, I was thinking about this. All the hype and interest in Game of Thrones, and then the offshoot of Game of Thrones, which was also good, got me thinking about if you were a knight back in medieval times, like if you were one of the knights of the Round Table, you were required to stumble around in 30 or 40 pounds of armor every day. Had to be a pain in the ass. I wonder if it ever got to be like a work from home kind of situation, if the knights weren't feeling it. Like, I wonder if it was ever, you know what, my page called out sick. We're not having any battles this week. Fuck it. I'm wearing the comfy pants today. Right? So then he rides to work, and his bard is with him playing his latest hit, Chivalry for the Devil, at full blast, right? He gets to the round table or whatever for his meetings, and the other knights all start murmuring, what the hell is going on with Sir Practical Trousers over there? Are we phoning it in? Which is an interesting phrase because the telephone wasn't going to be invented for another 600 years, but it just as a figure of speech really works in that situation, you know. The king gets in on it. Are we seriously hoping to conquer the Muslim Empire in slacks? Meanwhile, his best suit of armor is at the cleaners or the blacksmith, so he can look spiffy for his upcoming date with the Iron Maiden.
I wonder if they ever had ludicrous excuses, like, Oh, I can't possibly put on the armor today. I got drunk last night and I threw my chest plate and it was pierced by my own sword and now I got a leak.
He had to find his coffee mug in the morning. He gets busted drinking a cup of Joe out of the Holy Grail. In the name of Lionheart, what are you doing defiling the cup of Christ at 10 a.m.?
They're ever a good time? Can you imagine, the brothels back in the day and the pileup of armor, just strewn around in the fit of passion?
Yep.
Imagine the mix-ups. Guys grabbing the wrong metal pile. And I mean, those things were custom made. Halfway dressed and they realize the chest plate is too tight. God damn it, Larry. When's the last time you washed these gauntlets? They smell like a bicorn's ass.
It happened.
What are the prices on chainmail these days?
That shit's expensive as hell. You ever go to the Renaissance Festival? See people shelling out. Well, it's all handmade, but I mean, yeah. Last time I went to they have it in Crownsville, Maryland every year. It's a pretty big deal with jousting and
Baltimore City too. But people tend to dress like pirates. I don't know why.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah,
the one in Crownsville we used to go to when I was in college. I was always big old turkey leg, and they would act out battles and stuff. But there's a different type of person that goes to a thing like that and gets in full armor.
I'm telling you, they're even more committed than the people who do these Civil War.
It's sort of the same mindset though.
The whole recreate the battle, except it's a little more intense putting all that stuff on. I always imagined back in the day it would be kind of like the Disney mascots are now, where if it was hot, they just put you out there for a couple hours, except for them, they were guarding the queen for a couple hours and then they had to go get another one, while he cooled off.
The Confederate soldiers on his phone, and they're like, God damn it, John, don't break the fourth wall. So anyway, listen to this, right? So when I worked at Sephora, part of my job was so much fun. I would set up the returns of products that were considered dangerous. If they had chemicals in them or something like that, they required special packing because they could blow up, right? Nail polish, perfume, pretty flammable stuff. Okay, all acetone in it and stuff. So once a month, I had to get on the phone with our 3 stores in Hawaii because they required air shipment.
Right.
And there's a lot of documentation in the process when you're going to fly hazardous goods. These were not good phone calls. These were people that worked in the Sephora spas. These were people that were hired to say things like, that is definitely your color. And we're going to want to go with the Lotus exfoliator on this. Trust me. Trying to explain things like hazmat stickers, dangerous goods packing, and IATA regulations were hard. So this is how the calls would go. I'd get on the phone with Todd at the Honolulu location. Okay, Todd, did you pack up those cartons the way I explained in the email? Honey, I am not packing the Cocoa Mademoiselle in the same box with Sol de Janeiro. The cocoa is not even a mist. Did you add up the total fluid ounces for the nail polish? Well, I'm very confused about what you're asking me to do, Mark. The red velvet, please, is a kit and includes the glamnetic file. Do I count that? I need details. Todd, nail files aren't flammable. I'm picking up a tone, Mark. Look, I have a customer. We'll just have to chat about this later. It took me weeks to get this shit picked up.
I'm always I'm convinced that Hemp's likes to put hazmat stickers because we love their lotion. However,
the hand sanitizer.
They must have a surplus of hand sanitizer because they include one with every order.
You like it that way, hand sanitizer.
And then they have to put a hazmat sticker on there because of the alcohol.
Yep. Interesting,
yeah. Remember when you couldn't buy it? Now they give it away with everything.
Somebody over-ordered. Yeah.
Our feature interview this week, and it was a fun one, is with Salomon Seegers. He's the vocalist for the Danish hardcore band Night Fever. If you're not familiar, you have got to hear this shit. Uber tight, thrash punk with twin guitars, total headbanging delight.
It is, yeah.
We had feared that perhaps they had broken up, but as it turns out, they just got a new bass player.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a great discussion with Salomon about the history of the band, play a great round of blaspheming monikers, and find out why he is surrounded by rotten limbs all day.
How Decay is that?
And they definitely have new music coming out, so stay tuned for that.
All right, let's play some Night Fever. This is Denied. What an ass-kicking song is that, huh? I'll tell you what. It's funny. I was thinking about the editing process on our band interviews every week. When we first started doing the show, I used to pre-watch every minute of it. I would edit the shit out of it. If I made a joke and it didn't result in gut-busting laughter all around, I would take it out and go, I get rid of that, right? Now, not sure if I've even gotten lazy or whatever, but I take out the first minute, I could see you, but you can't see me. And the end.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
And the end where it's like, the show should be up in about 3 weeks, yada, yada. Like, take that out. I leave everything in now because even if the person we're interviewing doesn't get the joke, someone out there playing along at home will get it. Did Jesus really just leave Chicago? I mean, would he really take the bus, the Son of God? Do you think Varg from Burzum ever said, yes, I do hate the Jews, but damn, that Mel Brooks is funny? Hedy Lamarr? Springtime for Hitler? I laugh my ass off. Yeah. So this is good material, even if they don't know what we're talking about. I know you guys get it. So anyway, let's talk about Patreon. The site is patreon.com/Snaggletooth Podcasts. This week, I will be focusing on GBH, and I'm going to talk about their least reviewed records, From Here to Reality and Church of the Truly Warped. Were they any good? Do they still hold up? This is their metal crossover phase. Everybody knows the early stuff like Leather Bristles and City Baby Attacked by Rats. This is the 90s era. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. It's $6.66 a month and unlocks all kinds of bonus footage. Boner footage. Wow.
No, maybe not that.
I think we're underpricing that. $6.66 a month unlocks all kinds of bonus footage that you can't get anywhere else.
I may be doing a shot for my refrigerator pickles experiment.
You still have to do them.
Yes.
The tomato garden from Hal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, we really need you guys' help. This is currently Mark and Stace's very expensive hobby, and we'd kind of like to continue the show going at our current rate of de-evolution, I guess you could say. So.
Yeah. So, and we're always needing new equipment. We have a new floor down here,
and we'll throw in some cucumbers if you guys want them, because God knows we got those. So, okay, let's talk about the Snaggle trip this week. I'll let you take it, lovely. Go ahead.
This week's Snaggle trip took us to the beautiful Selfie Lemonade Museum in Baltimore. Bianca Robinson was great, taking us through what she says is one of the most Instagrammable, I didn't know that was an adjective,
it is now,
place on the East Coast. Here you can immerse yourself in unique, thoughtful, fun, eye-catching, and detailed interactive rooms. It is one of the most colorful, impressive photo studios you're ever likely to see, with backgrounds for every personality style. They have a selfie room for seemingly everyone, from the chess enthusiast to the emerging hip-hop artist. And what was wild was within each room, every wall and nook and cranny was different, like a little different theme, a little different feel.
A little triggered from the words chess enthusiast based on last week's show, but let's not talk about it. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk. Anyway. So here it is. Let's discuss men's shirts.
Oddly enough.
You ever buy a dress shirt from like Hex or Macy's or something? And why does it take 19 straight pins and 3 strips of plastic to package up a shirt? Who benefits from this? I feel bad for the people that work in the store. I mean, if somebody undoes that, putting it back together, each shirt's like solving a Rubik's Cube, you know? You used to work.
I worked actually when I first started way back in Hex. Mm-hmm. Originally, they put me in men's.
Okay.
Here was the thing. Not only did grown men come up to me and ask me to measure them to see what size dress shirt they were in, because of course you have to do their neck, their arm length.
And like what? Like chest and stuff?
Well, it's only if you want athletic or regular fit, but pretty much the two main measurements are the arm length and the neck measurement. Okay. And I couldn't believe that someone who was 45 years old had never, ever worn a dress shirt before or needed to be measured.
Wow. But did you have to put the Rubik's Cube back together?
Yeah, we had to put the Rubik's Cube back together. And it was always like they would make us put the sale stuff on this rummage table, which was literally what it was. People would just come through and mess up stuff. You could be folding on that end of the table and they'd be messing stuff up on that end.
Rummage, that's when you eat like a lot of celery and stuff, right?
That's roughage.
Oh, yeah.
Rummage is you just I don't like this. This isn't my size. To this day, if I'm in a store and I open a shirt, I fold it and put it back.
Yeah. If you're in a somewhat shady neighborhood, you could kind of judge how dangerous the neighborhood is by how much shit is locked up.
True.
I mean, if you're in a store and they're locking up the Cheese Whiz, you really don't have any business being in that store or neighborhood.
I was at a CVS in Towson where they had the Reese's peanut butter cups in these big plastic boxes that you had to take up to the register for them to unlock. I was like, candy?
Remember that time that when we were meeting, I was waiting for you to call me with the hotel room, and I was in Rosedale. I went to that Walmart. I was going to get my daughter some socks. They had children's socks locked up. Who's making money on the children's cotton sock market? That's what I want to know. You know?
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, I understand locking up like cigarettes and putting that stuff behind the counter, but the amount of like body wash. You can't get body wash.
I don't understand.
Without calling the guy and going, no, the red. No, the green bottle. You feel like you're picking out cigarettes. And he's like, do you want the exfoliating one? You're like, do I need the exfoliating one? Now I'm thinking I might. It's
a little intimate.
Yeah.
There's 64-ounce bottles of body wash. You need like the giant Inspector Gadget trench coat to smuggle that out. It's like trying to smuggle a watermelon out of the store. I mean, come on. You know?
We also in that department store, we had cameras like behind a lot of the mirrors, like people didn't understand. So this guy went up to the mirror, like right in front of where the camera was, and was stuffing merchandise down his pants for the camera. He was tackled summarily.
Sir, is that body wash in your pants? Well, thank you very much. So things have changed a lot. Internet's changed this, but do you remember, like in the when we grew up in the 70s and 80s,
Oh, yeah.
the department stores, the big ones like Sears, they just branched into everything. You had obviously the department stores. You had clothing, you had automotive, you had tools. They always had to have a big cafeteria. They had the Sears Portrait Studio. Mm-hmm. It was like they would just have board meetings and be like, "What else can we take over?" You know, how about home surgery kits? Yes, that sounds like a great idea. Sears Home Surgery Department, Ophthalmology Department.
They do. A lot of them had glasses.
I went to Sears Optical for years, and I stopped going because they could not operate their own computer system.
Oh my God.
It was so outdated. They were like, "I'm sorry, we can't make this transaction. Our system is too old." I mean, machine gun repair, car rental, nuclear power. I think Walmart still offers cremation services, don't they?
Yeah, I think they give you a discount if you opt out to instead of the cremation ovens, just on a Weber grill that got returned at some point.
That's synergy. That's synergy, yeah. Also, in the world of retail, why do refill cartridges for men's razors cost more than my car? Why is this? I have done a lot of study on this. Now, they're really pushing the actual blade, the handle that you hold. If you buy that, the price drops significantly. You buy that, and you buy 5 blades with it, you're talking less than $10. But as soon as you say, no, I don't need this, I just want, click, what goes on it? $30. It's ridiculous.
You know,
they haven't figured out a way to just sell the cartridges.
It's a razor, and they always have to give it like it's got space age technology, like the
cutting edge
Mach 3,
the supersonic Mach 3 Gillette
Quantum Leap,
shave your face off model. Why do you have to have 5 blades too? If the first blade doesn't get it, it ain't getting it. I mean, I don't understand. All the 5 blades are going to do the same thing. It's not like they're gyrating blades or something. Tell them it's got 5 blades. I don't know. They're stupid. They'll believe it. You know?
Oh my God, the Mach 5 blade.
That's why it costs so much. They should just call it the generic get your face clean razor, and then they could price it accordingly. You know.
I just always thought Gillette came up with a crappy slogan. What should we call it? The best the man can get. This is it.
Yeah, that's kind of lame. Yeah.
Horrible.
So come at us at the comments. Why are razor cartridges so freaking expensive? Okay. This is going to be right up your alley. Once in a while, you meet this person that has that weird cross-section of craziness. They're incredibly scatterbrained, but also very attention-seeking. So you get things like you drop a comment and you never know. I call it spinning the wheel of crazy. You don't know what kind of response you're going to get. What are you doing this weekend? Or they say to you, what are you doing this weekend? And you say, well, me and Stace have to go get a new mattress. My husband and I sleep in separate beds because he doesn't have a penis. And you're like, this will make me really comfortable when he comes for the company Christmas party.
Yeah, talk about TMI.
Yeah.
Some people and the stuff that they put forth, and you never know. You never know what's going to happen. It's like throwing stuff at a wall and seeing what'll stick.
Right. I saw a documentary on the cruelty of the beef industry. I'm going vegan now. And then like an hour later, they're eating McDonald's burger.
What?
That's another thing. These crazy schemes, they evaporate within 24 hours. You'll never hear about them again. Did you hear about that poor man that got shot in South Baltimore? I'm getting a concealed carry permit. Great, you're just the type of person I'll feel comfortable that is armed.
Oh, wait. I need to take a personal day to get my record expunged so that I can get this permit because it's important. It's some bogus drug charge from when I was 12 anyway.
I like that. I like the current events. I like when it was, are you coming into work tomorrow? Oh, no, I don't think I'll be in. My mom's having a cookout.
All day?
It's a barbecuing emergency. You just don't understand.
Well, I guess marinating does take up to 12 hours.
Who needs off on a Wednesday for a cookout? You mentioned I got to go over to the bank today. That's funny. I saw a documentary about the declining power of the dollar. I'm investing in gold bars. And I think to myself, unless we're talking about caramellos, it ain't happening. Sorry.
Where does one store gold bars? Yeah. Under the mattress? That seems a bit lumpy. And it's safe.
It's for the apocalypse. Come on.
Yeah, because zombies, then you can just hit them on top of the head with the gold bars. It makes sense.
Wasn't that wonderful?
Really good.
It was good. That's us.
We can have that.
Hanging out. Yep, that was the best picture I could get. All three of us.
That's fine.
We got the cute little lobby there. They were selling popsicles. The Barbie room, which is their most popular room.
Which
apparently.
They actually had way before the Barbie phenom went off.
I had no idea that you could take a bath in money, and they even have fans to blow the money around.
You know, what better way to improve your self-esteem than by taking your picture in a bathtub full of money?
Bathtub full of money. You're killing it, baby. Yeah.
There's their Fresh Prince. This is one of those crazy rooms that had like literally a different theme on every wall. They have 7 rooms, she was telling us, but literally every nook and cranny of this place is packed.
Reminds me of all things jury duty. Last time I had jury duty, you weren't allowed to bring your cell phones in. So I sat there and watched reruns of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for 4 hours until they said, yeah, we don't need you guys. Total waste of the day. Anyway. Let's see what else we got here.
So she was telling us that this was inspired. One of the other owners had gone down south and discovered the selfie museums there, and there was nothing like that in Baltimore. So she decided to bring this phenom to us. And they frequently, in the summer months when it's warm like this, give away with your admission a free popsicle. I think they were offering coconut this week.
It was hot as hell, so that was great. If you'd like a wall of flowers
with a little bit of designer thrown in. We were actually filming in front of the wall of designers, but and a bicycle with
what better picture could you have of me than riding on a big old sissy bike?
Oh, and we were asking her if they had stands, and so you could take a good selfie. All of those circular guys are both for lighting, and they all have cell phone stands.
Oh,
so you can take the ultimate selfie.
Mounts, they have mounts, right?
They have those circles you can move around any way you want.
I love this picture of you. It's great.
They even have some great vinyl up on the wall. You can see more of their lighting in the back. All of this is available for you to use to get your perfect Instagram moment. Oh, this was the little crazy hallway with all the beach balls. Life's a beach and I'm the star.
There's not one wasted inch of wall space here. Let me tell you.
No, she encouraged us to run past the beach balls. I was unsure where we were going.
Because we were heading into the next room, which was this, I think, which is... No.
Maybe we didn't get a picture of it.
What was this? This is just if you want flower lays and mirrors.
Yeah, they have lots of props available for folks to use. So if you didn't bring your own flowers, they've got lays, they've got tons of stuff. This was the room about embracing your inner child. So
I don't have a problem with that.
They had dreams and very effervescent themes.
Remember this? You could be they have a fake microphone, and in front of this wall, you can look like you're recording your own hip hop album
or podcast. Your option.
Like if you've ever dreamed of being in Wu-Tang or something, and who hasn't really? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, they had a whole casino themed.
The Ace of Spades, the lemonade stand.
You can fill out your own check.
Your fantasy of a lemonade cart, and then the ball pit
of Oreos.
That looks a little bit more sanitary than the one at McDonald's. Oh, and you can color this wall.
90s cartoons. You can color it in.
There we go. Anything else you want to say about it?
I just wanted to say that we were talking about what was important about selfies in this culture, and she was explaining it's important to project an image of yourself. Mm-hmm. And sometimes once you project that image, maybe it becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy. So this museum is all about boosting your self-esteem, feeling good, having fun, maybe pretending a little bit, but also maybe in some way making that your self-fulfilling prophecy instead of being down or sad. Go here and make some fun. They also do parties. So they said they do birthday parties, bachelorette parties. Although she explained, I thought this was fascinating, that no party has gotten out of control ever. But they if you want a lot of fun, this is it. So
it's an interesting phenomenon. Seems like an hour ago I was changing shitty diapers. Now I'm taking a bathtub in $100 bills.
Oh, also, they also provide music, or they have Bluetooth speakers they can set you up with, and you can bring your own.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. All right, let's play another song. This is Night Fever with the new song, Rot.
I think Ken's about to get shot.
Okay, let's talk about Coffee AM.
Coffee AM is our sponsor this week. It is a great coffee company right here in the United States. It's in Georgia. They send your coffee out FedEx, so it arrives quickly. It gets packaged for you. Ours, of course, says Mark and Stace. Yours can say whatever you want it to say. They have flavored coffees. They have fair trade coffees. They have micro brews, which is not like beer.
I got a little excited when I heard that.
They have blends. They have regular decaf. They even have teas and lots of coffee paraphernalia. So we get our coffee from them every month. It's fresh. You can get it whole bean. You can get it ground. You can get it even French press for those of your old schoolers out there. So use our link and get over to Coffee AM and save off your first order. You will be so glad you did when amazing bags of coffee are just at your door.
The only one I didn't like was when we got that George Washington toenails. I would recommend the George Washington toenails.
There might be something in this coffee. I'm not sure.
Okay. Anyway, so God, I'm crying from that one. All right, let's play the theme from Campfire.
Because streaming services are evil corporations that gatekeep bands from their fans and pay them pennies while collecting millions.
This is Campfire.
Campfire this week is the Finnish war metal gods that are Archgoat. Their website is archgoat666.bandcamp.com. A little bit of history about the band. After their legendary 1994 EP, Angel Cunt, Tales of Desecration, Finland's Archgoat sort of vanished for 10 years. But then in 2004, Lucifer smiled on us again and saw Archgoat return with their ear-ravishing heavy war metal. This is going to blow your mind. Look at this. Look at this CD. Just look at that. Oh.
No.
It's the first Allman Brothers band.
Oh.
It's the A's. Sorry. It's actually a really good album. It doesn't have whipping post on it, but it's really good. Black-Hearted Woman. See, that could be an Archgoat song, Black-Hearted Woman. Anyway. What I meant to say was what I meant to say was, get a load of this. Now that's an album cover right there for you. That guy's multitasking. I'm telling you.
No, you have to. You got so much going on as a demon.
Yeah. Anyway.
Slash devil.
So, go ahead. Why don't you talk about Angel Cunt?
Yeah, so what makes this band unique also is the fact that at its home are twin brothers. How many bands can you say about that? And
Dwayne Allman married Cher for a while.
No.
Oh, sorry. No.
I'm
getting confused again.
Anyway, back to Angel Cunt.
Yeah.
It only takes one listen to the 1993 release Archgoat debut to acknowledge the obvious. Obviously, these guys have superpowers. Obviously, the three of them are sleeping in coffins, collecting shrunken heads, dressing in a wide variety of bullet belts, and doing lines of cocaine off the backsides of devil-worshipping vixens in nun habits each morning before breakfast.
Yeah, actually dirtier, shorter, and even more primitive than their already deranged 2000s material. This early EP is exactly what one would expect from these three. Thudding drums, thick tar-like waves of distorted guitar, sardonic grunting from Runnier, Lord Angel Slayer, I can't pronounce his last name, starts with a P. In typical war metal fashion, we're not looking for a ton of variety here, but there's a church bell or two in the devastatingly filthy Rise of the Black Moon, and their mud crawl slow riffing shows to be an early stage kicking off Soulflay. Also features some fiddling with church organs and spots. While there's no shortage of great riffs, the real blasphemous keepers in the Archgoat catalog would come much later. Still, any self-respecting fan of raw war metal needs to have this one on multiple formats. No, not digital, you dick. So let's play a song. This is Rise of the Black Moon.
At first glance, I thought that song was called Souffle. I was confused.
Souffle of the Black Moon?
I was like, Souffle? And then I read it again. I was like, oh.
Okay. Continuing on with Campfire, let's talk about 2006's Whore of Bethlehem album.
I
from
love
Archgoat.
their consistencies with the
red, black, and
yeah.
white. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Go ahead, you can take this one.
This is 2006 Whore of Bethlehem. Years ago, someone described this as unlistenable, I think. Within minutes, I was on the prowl for it.
Yep.
These sweat and corpse-painted encrusted demons from Finland do not disappoint, delivering nine hymns to hell, whores, and hedonism. Liner reads, all the blasphemous scriptures have been summoned by the Archgoat. The goat with the gas mask is a nice touch as well. We're glad we're concerned with the livestock's respiration.
The pounding, floorboard shaking fury of drummer Tuomas Karppinen. All right, just call him Sinisterra. The pounding aside, the death from below, purity violating, elegaic, God can't save you now vibe is a shot across the bow. This is ugly, war on piety, stamp out runaway decency black metal of the lowest order. The real draw is the sluggish, drag your brain through the mud riffs that are always a minute or two away. There's lots of variety in the crawling riff muck of this record, from the dreck of Lord of the Void to the slimy pulse and vocal croak of Dawn of the Black Light, to the lurching creep of Black Crusade. It's all about the slow, grinding metal, like these guys were trapped in a crack house at the foot of an erupting volcano for years with nothing but candles and blasphemous verse to while away the time.
Needless to say, Archgoat never lost the plot. I highly recommend all of it, from the Luciferian Crown to All Christianity Ends. The live album, Black Mass 30, is freaking incredible, with selections that go all the way back to the early demo days, stripped back but still depraved and powerful. Angel Slayer belches and Butcherer's primal rumbles have the same effect as a beloved death metal spinners of old, just heads down, picks flying, young drummer Tuka Frank storming away in a frightful display of poser holocaust. I'd forgotten the hypnotic effect of Archgoat's slower, doomier riffs and the version of Lord of the Void, and the apocalyptic triumphator, and particularly Grand Luciferin Stephanie, just pulverized with power, the Parisians chanting along loud and proud like the wizened disciples they are. It's a great show.
I also recommend Live at the Fillmore. They do. Don't want you no more. Let's go. Oh, that's the almonds.
Anyway,
Sorry.
we'll have a treat to look forward to next spring, as Archgoat will be returning to Baltimore for Maryland Death Fest for 2024. It will be their first appearance here since 2012, so I cannot wait for this. Give it up for the goat.
Let's play a song. This is Tied to the Whipping Post.
No!
Oh, no, this is Dawn of Blacklight.
Although that would be a good Archgoat song.
All right, let's introduce the interview. This was fun. Salomon from Night Fever. What a tidy little sit down we have with him. Yes.
Yeah, I've really been into this latest contributions from them, made me get into their back catalog. They are so consistent and so good. And it was so interesting to get Solomon's insights on everything from, live shows to the crazy things that have happened to them to
great stories. This is a pretty obscure band, but you really need to check them out. This is quality stuff here. I can't imagine anybody who watches this show would not love Night Fever. Just, you got to check it out.
Okay. And they're the real deal. They're the do-it-yourselfers. They're out there doing their own thing and doing it well. So you can't ask for any more than that.
So take it away. Well, thanks for doing this. I was thrilled to see you guys have new music coming out. It's been a while.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a while. We got caught up in COVID, and we're just very slow.
Well, sometimes good things take time, right?
Yeah, I'm doing all the riffs and music and lyrics and shit, but I'd rather not do any filler songs. So you try to use a decent amount of time to make the songs like at least somewhat memorable or something like that.
Start off with the obvious. The name Night Fever. Where did it come from, and how often are you confused with Saturday Night Fever?
The name Night Fever. I think it came from, we couldn't figure out a name for it, and our old bassist, he was just like, "What about Night Fever?" And we had like a week or 2 weeks or something before we had to play our first show, and then Lasse, who played in Hjertestop, and the guy who recorded our new record, he was doing the show, and he was just like, "Fuck it, your name is Night Fever, you can always change it." And then we're like, "Oh, whatever, man." But yeah, it's not the best thing about the band.
Yeah, because Googling your name is tough. You get a lot of a lot of BGs come up.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hopefully you don't get any disgruntled disco fans going, "This isn't the Bee Gees cover band."
This album doesn't sound anything like I was expecting.
There was actually a nightclub here in Copenhagen which was called Night Fever. Okay. So retarded people, they would write our Facebook page thinking that it was the club. They'll be like, "Hey, what time do you open?" And I forgot my jacket last night and shit like that.
Yeah. Like, you don't have enough to worry about already.
So you got your start super early, 13, and I'm going to kill the name of the band. How do you say it? Erigd Antrack?
That's pretty close. But yeah, it was actually not our first band. We had our first band when I was 11. I played bass. It was called United Wankers.
Oh, okay.
It was the logo was pretty good. It was a white dick and a black dick on a cross, and they were simultaneously jerking each other off. It was great. But yeah, that was a long time ago.
Do you remember what your impressions were like? Like, all right, I mean, did you were just a group of friends that got together, or
actually it was I started out in with metal when I was very young. I was like 6 years old. I got the Countdown to Extinction record from my brother, and I just went on from there. So I listened to D-Side and shit like that before I even listened to punk. But one of the old bassist, Andreas, he also played in the other band, and our guitarist in the band now in Night Fever, he also played in Identify. We all went to school together from the first grade, actually. But the new bassist in Night Fever, he's called Casper, and he is Andreas' brother, and he used to play in a bunch of other Danish bands, Hull, No Hope for the Kids, Death Token, all kinds of bands. But he got us into punk because he was he started getting into punk, and we just followed. It was crazy. He was wearing like skirts and mohawks and shit like that. We just thought that this looks crazy. We want to be part of something like that.
What happened to Death Token? All Dreams Are Nightmares was so great, and then I never heard anything.
So great. I don't know. It just they just went into oblivion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great band. It was such a good band live, and such a good record. Yeah. We played with them a bunch of times. Really good band.
Really.
So I was curious because it's listed as K-Town in Denmark. What does that encompass, or what is that short for?
It's just short for Copenhagen is spelled with a K in Denmark. Okay. So that's what it is. So it's just Copenhagen hardcore.
So I love the NF kind of like, and how you have it like mirror image.
Oh yeah, the logo.
Yeah, who came up with that?
That was actually our old bassist came up with that. Yeah, we're trying to do a single off the new record, or it's actually just gonna be that as the single.
You guys have such great merch. You got to put that one on a guitar pick if you haven't done it already. But
yeah, I think the next thing we're gonna do is some shorts or something. Yeah, that we'll probably put the logo on them.
That's cool. That's cool. I wanted to ask you that movie sample that starts off "Fuck Your PMA." What movie is that from? Do you know?
Oh, that's from it's called Diner or something. What the fuck is that movie called? It's an 80s movie.
Oh, it must be Diner. Yeah, that's based in Baltimore. Yeah, Diner. Yeah, that's what we are. We know Diner.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever get good movie? Did you get any letters from lawyers telling you're not allowed to use a sample or anything?
No, I think it's so unknown, this band.
I would always think that, and then I'd be like, yeah, the one time that I actually do, I'll end up getting sued by Kraft
but
Corporation.
we actually wanted to use some from there's like this sample we wanted to use from Death Wish 4, which is it's such a good sample, but we didn't use it anyways because of that,
Yeah.
But I think that the sample is the sample from Diner is not on any of the things on the internet, YouTube and shit.
Okay.
So I guess they'll have a much more hard time finding it. I guess.
Yeah. It used to be okay to use samples. Remember in the 90s, all the bands were doing like Grief and I Hate God, and they would it was like free reign, and then all of a sudden, I guess the lawyers clamped down and
but it's really hard to get into the specifics about the laws about that because you hear like 10 different things. I mean, last thing I heard was that I think it's if the sample is less than 5 or 10 seconds, you can use it.
Right.
But if you do, you got to pay, or you can get around it by like cutting into it, like when you in the mixing process or something. It's
so complicated. You just are like, the hell with it,
But we were just like, fuck it, we don't know. We don't want to take a chance.
I don't need that. Yeah. So also my favorite, I guess, one of my favorite Night Fever songs is Denied, and I always want to know, why did you list it as untitled on the Transparent EP?
I think it's because I couldn't figure out what to call it, and we were just we're so
down
slow.
To the wire, I guess, and it was like, what's the name of the song? You're like, oh, just call it Untitled.
Yeah. I think I didn't send the mail where it's like the track listing or something. I don't know. It was a hazy time. It
was a hazy time. Yeah. You had the artwork, you had the music, but just needed one more title. Yeah. Question for you also is one of the things that's so unique about you guys is raging hardcore does not usually have metal guitar leads, and you guys have some of the best. So
thanks.
Who came up with that? Like, I liked you guys from the very beginning because you have guitar solos. Like I like both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
mean, I think we all grew up with Judas Priest and shit like that. Yeah. So I guess it came naturally. But but like we have two guitarists, and they're both metalheads and love hardcore. So I guess it just came naturally. But I mean, it's also our inspirations are like, also bands that have, furious guitar solos, like, Poison Idea and Raw Power and stuff like that. So
yeah. I mean, even that first Circle Jerks album has such great guitar solos.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds like they just threw it off, and group sex. It just sounds like they just did it in one take, but
I think
it holds up so well. I mean,
yeah, but I think they're also such talented guitarists that they make it sound easy.
Yeah, it's not. You can't just crank that shit out. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I've loved the two new singles, and I love how like the Killing Fields, which starts out, it draws you in with that drum, and then Rot draws you in with that guitar immediately. So I love. Do you really take a lot of time with the intros or outros, or just kind of organic?
Yeah, actually, I do. It's kind of a battle because like most of the guys in the band, they just want the songs to start off like instantly. I really like intros, so we kind of like find a middle way.
Yeah, that's kind of a metal thing too, to have an intro. It's instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's
But I love intros. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think by far my favorite merch of yours recently is the "Fuck You Master" T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Who kind of came up with that Jesus skeleton face? And I love it.
It was it's one of our new songs, which is an anti-religious song. And I was like, I worked with this guy called Will Kinzer from the States. He's an American. He lives here in Copenhagen. He was from this band called Born Dead and Red Dawns and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
We were sitting at his place and we were just like trying to do a shirt. I'm really not good with design or layout or shit like that. So we were just looking at pictures of I was like something like Pick King or something like that, and we were just like looking at pictures of skeletons, and then we just came up with it.
That's a really great image, and I love the writing down the sleeves.
Yeah.
I'd rather rot. I'm not a slave. I was like, wow, I gotta have the shirt.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did New Blood?
Woo, man, I don't know.
Young on that cover. I mean,
yeah, I think I was. We started in 2007, and when is the record from? 2011 or 9? Or I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I was like 22, 21, 23. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I loved you were on that record. You would go from the high screams to that kind of Danzig kind of. Yeah, I love that. I mean, was Danzig or the Misfits something that you
I'm a big Misfits fan and a big Danzig fan and also a big Elvis fan. But yeah, we were trying to do something like that, and kind of like just do something that wasn't done. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You guys have really been a do-it-yourself band from the beginning. What do you think the upsides and downsides are for kind of taking control of everything?
I think the upsides is you can do it how you want it. The downside is all the fucking work. And I think that's how it is. Yeah. I mean, you just got to work so hard just to make it happen. It's so much work, but it's in the end it pays off, I think, because you get it done the way you want it to.
If you had a personal assistant, what would you make them do? Like, what would their chores be first and foremost?
Everything. I have a full-time job and I have a kid, so everything. I
wanted to ask you about that. You emailed me. You emailed me that you were going to be knee deep in dead body parts or something. What did you mean?
I work at a hospital. Mm-hmm. I work as I don't know if you have it in the States, but it's called they have it in the UK. I think it's called an orderly.
Okay, yeah, we have those.
They drive patients from A to B, but my job is a bit more encompassing. I'm at the ICU every day, and I make sure that the patients there don't get bed sores.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we have to turn them on their sides and put them up in chairs with all the tubes hanging out from the throats. Yeah, and then work in the emergency room and resuscitating people and yeah, and driving bodies to the morgue and stuff like that. It's a very death metal job, and
I was gonna say, yeah, it's
you see
I'm
some
thinking
fucking
mortician
crazy
right off the
shit.
bat.
Yeah, and it's the hospital is based in it's like the poorest district, so you get all these social cases, like I don't know, just
Like
these,
overdoses and stuff.
yeah, also that, but just like the crazy drunkards, man. Like you'd see like a 60-year-old woman just like drinking, the disinfectant because they've grown so used to it. So they drink the disinfectant just like naked while taking a shit, stuff like that.
Oh my god. There's your next album cover right there. I mean,
the people in the band, they're always like, why don't you just like if I'm struggling with lyrics or something, they're just think of the hospital. Like, yeah, but it's like I can't sing about intestines and shit like that. That's not the kind of band we are.
So it was pretty funny. We were like first dating, and it was kind of still at the tail end of COVID. And I used to work for a restaurant, so Monday and Tuesdays were like my day off. So we went out on like, I don't know, a Monday night, went to this bar, got, kind of a little tipsy. And then we wanted to get a taxi or an Uber home, and there just weren't any. We tried everywhere, every app, nothing. So I said, you know what? We're not far. We're going to walk. It was probably a mile and a half. I was like, let's walk.
But it was ice everywhere.
But we didn't. It was like February. There was ice, and the street light was out, and we hit this pack of black ice. He went down. I went down. He hit his head. I hit my head.
Oh, shit.
Next thing you know, they scooped us up in an ambulance. We're in the emergency room. He was like, that was the best date ever to end up in the emergency room. Yes.
Yeah. Never
That's a good
forget
story.
the nurse came up and just went, hold still, ka-chink, ka-chink, 2 staples.
Yeah.
Like, holy, no warning. Good Lord. Bedside manner.
Oh, man. What happened? You just got jumped and robbed or something?
No. We fell. We hit the black ice and just went down. I hit my head on a curb, and she went down with me. Yeah. So, and actually, I think a cop car took us to the emergency.
Yeah. So he pulled over.
I was all full of blood
because his head was bleeding, and he just put us in there and took us to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's walking in the dark and when there's black ice, And
it was cold, cold as hell. We're feeling confident because we've had little liquid courage. Yeah. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, that was a rough night.
It's a romantic story.
Yeah,
I really do think so.
Yeah. It sounds like your social media posts, the Dresden shows, have been crazy based on what we were reading. Do you have any stories about some of the more nuttier crowds?
We had some pretty nutty crowds. They're usually people get really hurt when we play. Yeah. We've had people getting picked up by helicopters, like
wow, airlift,
broke their neck, broke their necks, and people there's also one guy at a show. There's this one show in Copenhagen at the K-Town Festival where our guitarist Matthias, he jumped while playing, and then he hit his head on this metal bar on the ceiling.
Oh, jeez.
And then he's still suffering from that. He's had a concussion for, I don't know, it's like 10 years ago or something.
I read about that, but he finished the set.
He finished the set, and he was like bleeding profusely from the forehead. And he I think he what do you call it? He didn't break his neck, but he I don't know the word for it. Yeah, whiplash, something like that. Yeah. Got whiplash. And he continued the set, and I was like vomiting because I was like hungover as fuck. Yeah, so I was like vomiting on the scene. It was crazy. Wow. But at the same show, this young kid, he after the concert, I was like trying to be nice, so I was picking up my own vomit so nobody else had to do it. And then this kid was just lying there next to us, just like laughing like crazy. And I was like, what's wrong with this dude? And he was just in shock because his knee was on the back of his legs.
Oh my god!
So he had broken his leg.
Yeah.
Oh
no, his
dislocated.
Yeah, he dislocated his knee, so it was on the back. It was horrible to see.
That is horrible. That reminds me, I went and saw Converge the year that Jane Doe came out, right?
Yeah.
And they only played like 8 or 9 songs and maybe 40 minutes. And then Jake Bannon goes, "We're going to have to stop the show. I just got kicked in the head and I'm seeing 3 of everything." And I just remember being like, "Boo, it's a Wednesday. Shake it off."
Yeah.
Fucking A. Yeah. So a little disappointing.
How was the Exit Festival in Serbia?
It was really good. It was really a lot of fun. We played there, and the people in the Balkans, they're just so grateful because there's not a lot of Scandinavian and like Northern European bands coming, as far as we can tell. So they're just like, we got interviewed, and they're just by a lot of people, and they were just like, how is it to be most important hardcore band of 20 years? It's like, oh shit. Like we don't think we're that, but they were so grateful and they treated us so nice. We were actually there for 4 days. We played on the Thursday and had a horrible flight there. It was supposed to be 3 hours, but it turned into 15 hours.
Oh wow!
And so we played the show and everybody thought it was amazing. And we saw some good bands: Cockney Rejects, Wu-Tang Clan.
You saw Wu-Tang. I'm bad.
Yeah, we actually flew on the plane with Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, that's
cool. Yeah, but it was a great festival, and hopefully we're gonna get back to the Balkans next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love how you're so intense on stage. Like I was watching some stuff on YouTube, and you kind of channel that rage into the music. Have you ever had someone come up to you and just say, "Hey, that was super therapeutic. That really put me in a better mind frame. It changed my depression."
Yeah, I've had some people say like that I saved their lives from they had a depression, and they just not lyric wise. I just think it's like some state of mind, where you're just like all fucked up and on drugs and all, your life is just like shit. And then you find some common ground in it, I think. So I've had that a couple of times.
Okay, well, we play a little game. So we're going to play a game with you right now. The game is called Blaspheming Monikers, okay? So I'm going to give you 5 band names from the Metal Archives. One of them is made up. So you have to guess which one of these is fake.
Okay.
Okay? All right, here we go. Number 1, and I'll repeat these as often as you like.
Yeah.
Necropoet, 45 caliber brain surgery, goat hag, tongue-eating louse, and hellbreather.
Tongue-eating louse.
They are real. They're a sludge metal band from Ontario. They have 3 LPs, and they broke up in 2018.
Oh shit! So what was the fake name?
No. Let's just keep going. Like, take another guess. Okay. Again, it's Necropoet, 45 caliber brain surgery, goat hag, tongue-eating louse, and hellbreather.
45 caliber. What was it?
Brain surgery.
Yeah.
They're German. They have 1 album. Death metal.
Death metal?
Yep, death metal.
Yeah. Okay.
One more.
Hellbreather.
Yep, Hellbreather's a Canadian speed metal band. They have split in 2020. So the one that's made up is Goat Hag. I made that one up.
Goat
Hag. I can't believe there's not a band called Goat Hag.
I was like, Goat Hag, that's a band.
That's got to be real.
Sure.
So
there's a goat whore, but no goat hag.
All right, don't feel bad. States gets all of them wrong every time we do it, so don't feel bad. We interviewed John from Black Braid, the black metal, and he got it right out of the blocks. He was like,
"Really,
that one?" Because I think I put in there a band called the Illuminatis, and he was like, "That's not real."
Illuminatis.
Yeah.
That's good.
It was razor sharp. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But we made him laugh with REO Rape Wagon. Oh, yeah, it's an actual
REO Rape Wagon.
REO Rape Wagon. Yeah, he liked.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why.
I don't think you could. That's not very Me Too,
No, I don't give a
All right.
So Vendetta had like a punk core with a bit of, I could definitely hear that rock and roll twist with tons of attitude. So I hear your new stuff, and it's right in that channel. So stylistically, would you say it's staying the same, moving in a different direction?
I don't know. If we're moving in a different direction, we take baby steps, I think. But it's like I think that you don't want to. I mean, I still want to play hardcore. I still want to have metal solos, but you kind of want to mix it up a bit, so it doesn't you don't like record the same album basically.
Right.
But
no 9-minute rock operas.
We actually did a intro that was 6 minutes long or something,
No
which was
way.
which is like epic with the acoustic and the guitars and the 3 guitar solos, and I don't know, it was crazy. But it just we didn't have the time, or we thought maybe it wouldn't fit, maybe it would be too weird. But it is recorded though.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I was just kidding. Wow. Yeah.
So for in Copenhagen, I was curious, the lyrics sound so personal, where this isn't the fucking country. Was it like based on actual events or just like a series of impressions?
Yeah, it was this it was just I don't want to tell the whole story, but it was basically just the redneck. I was telling somebody to fuck off because he was being annoying. And then this redneck came up to me and he wanted to fight me. I was like, let's do it. I don't give a fuck. And then he's like, he told me that I should never show my face again in this part of the city. And I just laughed in his face. I was like, you of all people should say that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow, and you made that into a song, that altercation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've performed in Germany, Japan, US, Brazil, just to name a few. Where are the most rabid fans, do you think?
I think in Germany. Germany and Holland, I think. But we also had some crazy concerts in Brazil and some really good concerts in Japan. But like where we have a biggest turnout and where people go most crazy is it's Germany, I think.
Yeah, they're diehard. We've heard that a lot.
Oh yeah.
That Germany. I mean, just these huge metal festivals that they have there. I mean, it's they're diehard.
Do you think it was a possible chance to get you back over here in the States at some point?
Yeah, the thing is that our guitarist, he's been to jail here in Copenhagen, so he's not allowed to go back to the States.
Oh, geez.
So if we have to go to the States, we have to find a second guitarist just to fill in. I mean, it would be possible, but I don't know. We really want to do it, but it's kind of a hassle.
We'll have to talk to. We interviewed Pepe from Hatesphere. And they're Danish. He's got a good network. Maybe I'll hook you guys up with him.
I know some of the guys from Hatesphere. They're really nice.
Yeah, I could totally see you killing it and like Hell in the Harbor over here. We have these big festivals. So
he changes vocalists every 3 albums, so he's got a good network. So
So what are your tour plans for upcoming? Do you know yet, or still working on getting the album out?
We have some upcoming shows. We have some shows next month. A show in Dresden and a show in Rotterdam with Fang and Stalag 13 and the Partisans and stuff like that.
Wow, Fang, awesome!
Fang. Yeah, we played with Fang. We played with Fang before, and it was great. But some mostly German shows, and then some. And we got a release party hopefully in November for the new record. That's great. And some shows in Stockholm and Oslo.
If you could put together like your own fantasy lineup of who you would want to play with, now these bands can be existing or not existing, who would you put together with you guys?
Oh, that's a tough one. We played with Poison Idea and it was great. So I'd love to play with them again, but I don't think they play anymore.
Wow.
And let me think, man. the Dicks or the Big Boys or something. Offenders, some Austin, Texas band. One of those old ones.
Yeah.
I know that's just off the top of my head.
That's awesome.
I love the Fat Elvis album from the Big
Yeah.
Boys. That's great.
So good.
Well, this was great. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You've definitely got fanboys here in Baltimore. You can tell.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah.
happy to hear it.
We've been big fans for years. Yeah, ever since I heard that album behind me, the Transparent EP, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. These solos are ripping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah, we
Thanks,
love
man.
your blend, so definitely keep it coming. I can't wait for more.
The sounds of decay!
Okay.
Sounds of Decay 1, Connate, To Be Cruel. By the way, really epic t-shirts they have out now.
I didn't see what they look like.
Oh, it's really great. It's just Connate, but it's written almost in sticks.
Oh, cool. Kind of like
wild.
that band Vega Dude.
Yeah. This band was formed over 20 years ago in the New York, New Jersey corridor. 4 journeyman musicians got together to make perhaps the harshest drone metal in history. Connate was very active for the first 5 years of the band's existence, particularly considering the numerous side projects each member, plus O'Malley running the Southern Lord label.
Yeah.
Super busy guys.
I can
They
relate.
had 2 full lengths and numerous live and studio EPs were issued. Alan Dublin's crazed vocal attack, combined with the feedback and sconce blare of Stephen O'Malley's guitar, seemed to take the misery core of I Hate God several levels further in terms of heaviness and emotion. But, like most supergroups, the momentum eventually stalled with a complete drop off in activity for several years before their farewell full-length in 2009, Clean Hands Go Foul, a disc that saw much more ambient noise contributions from Basics and ex-old mainstay James Plotkin. Drum cadence seemed completely abandoned at times, but the disc still delivering the chilling, disturbed art metal vibe for which the band was known.
I was really surprised to see this. So, I mean, out of nowhere, after a 14-year hiatus, the band just dropped the surprise album, To Be Cruel. And fans of the early material will be very pleased with the band's return to shrieking feedback, crawling tempos, and thundering one downstroke a minute riffs. It Wants to Fly is top-notch Connate. Dubbin reminding us all that our soul is going down, down, down. This is kind of a theme in the show with Archgoat and now this. So we might as well get used to the idea. He wails, he moans, he whispers savagely while drummer Tim Weskita crashes, waits, crashes again, goes and sees a double feature, then comes back and hits a couple cymbals. Honestly, this is remarkable return to form for a band that created a truly unique, nightmarish sound. So wait for a sunny day, roll down the windows, put your feet out, and crank up some Connate. Have a nice day. I wonder if there's like fans out there, like there's people that only listen to shit like Connate and Today is the Day and Grief and stuff like that. I wonder how that affects one's mood.
I think you have to mix this in with other stuff, but it is definitely worth a
I
listen.
remember in the car, I said, we made it through an entire Connate song. Yes. They're all, every song's 20 minutes long. So.
Yeah. It's amazing what can change over time, though. And considering Alan Dublin in 2009 did an interview, and he said that they had been invited to some festivals, but it kind of didn't pan out. And he, at that point, said, "I highly doubt a reunion will happen." So never say never. A pandemic later, and they're back.
Go on Spotify, find our first season. We do an entire show about supergroups. We talk about everybody from Glenn Hughes to what else we talk about? We talk about everybody from Glenn Hughes to.
I believe that's on our rock and roll show, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's on a rock and roll show, but we cover a lot of ground on that. And supergroups, they almost seem like doomed to fail.
Well, it's always, they have 3,000 other projects going on, and that's never their main focus.
Or it starts off as their main focus, and then when it becomes a supergroup, like Spiritual Beggars had that. Like that was their entity, and then they started getting all these other members from other projects, and then it became like a every 4 years kind of thing. Yeah. So anyway,
Also, you have to check out their Facebook page. All of their pictures are basically the backs of them walking away from the camera.
Very ominous. Yeah.
And all, with the tagline, "Have you ever been cruel?"
Okay, Sounds of Decay 2 is Serpent Corpse. The album is called Blood Sabbath. Exciting debut from this 4-piece out of Montreal. Serpent Corpse formed back in 2020, and after a very squealy and raw 2021 demo, they have returned with Blood Sabbath, a very heavy, riffy affair in the vein of Obituary and early Celtic Frost. It's kind of strange. Metal Archives lists only 2 active members in the band, but don't believe it. We confirm with the band that the original 4 members are still very much a part of the project. Adam Brialt and Chris LaCroix on guitar, Andrew Haddad on bass and vocals, and Zachariah Stu on drums.
The band is definitely progressing. Song length's a little longer than the demo. 3 over the 5-minute mark, but the album itself clocks in at a very 1993 friendly 38 minutes overall. Most of the tempos are of the slower, dirgier speed, typically kicking into thrashy segments here and there for a minute or 2. Crucifixion Shine is a good study in the Serpent Corpse sound. Haddad grunting and gurgling like a seasoned pro as the band dashes through 3 minutes of classic style OSDM. Seems like guitar solos are reserved for the longer cuts like the 6-minute Land of Rot and Misfortune.
This is all we're going to play.
This is maybe the strongest cut on the record, with some very early Slayer-esque changes and effervescent leads from LaCroix. See what I did there?
Effervescent.
And
Brialt.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Brialt. Death metal fans, there is a new force to go with your Grenadiers and VHS. All hail the Serpent Corpse.
Okay, so this is Land of Rot and Misfortune. Okay, Sounds of Decay 3. This is Firefuck. No, just kidding.
No.
Okay. Sounds of Decay 3 is Krigsgrav. The album is called Fires in the Fall. Now, I always felt this kind of Bill Hicks-inspired sense of pity for Texas-based black metal bands, Southwest in general. I always pictured Proscriptor from Absu getting his corpse-painted ass kicked by a bunch of rednecks with large belt buckles and beer guts at 2 o'clock in the morning outside of a saloon, Maybe I've just watched too many Bill Hicks documentaries. Anyway, the trio that is Krigsgrav have shown more than capable of holding their own despite possible geographic challenges. Mainstay David Sikora started the band 20 years ago as a one-man project. Flash forward to present day, Fires in the Fall is album number 7 by this prolific bunch. Sikora is now flanked by Justin Coleman on guitar and vocals, and Cody Daniels on guitar. The Krigsgrav sound is vast, underpinned by Sikora's drum sound, characterized by huge rolling toms and double bass pumps. Songs are lengthy, all but one eclipsing the 6+ minute mark. Lots of ringing post-rock informed guitar fills, very grandiose and often harmonized. Yet despite the colossal sonics and lengthy songs, the album never wears out its welcome, and it does its business in a tidy 46 minutes.
I was surprised when I first saw the name and that it translates to war graves, that I just automatically assumed they were Swedish, even from the album covers. So it's refreshing that they are from Texas. Things kick off here in a splendid fashion with the immensely stacked opener and ever-flowing Vessel. This is a track that swirls in huge guitar and drum interplay, straddling both doomy and speed-laced sections, only to have everything fall away to a single acoustic outro. Classy and cool.
It really is. So.
And Seas of Perdition blasts out of the blocks with rip-snapping tremolo, picking set against Coleman's hefty vocal rasp. But the percussion steals the show in this one, steamrolling out of the speakers with amazing power and deftness. There are some folk elements, like the clean intro into Alone with the Setting Sun, which advances through some gorgeous twin guitar melodies before shifting back into the violence. Overall, one of the most sonically impressive black metal releases of 2023 so far. Highly recommend for fans of audiophile extreme metal like Sulfur Eon or maybe Migla. Impressive stuff.
Okay, so let's play a song. Let's play that first song. And this is An Ever-Flowing Vessel. Well, we ripped right through that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
We talked about a lot about selfies.
We talked a lot about great riffs and Archgoat and blackness and perhaps a whipping post.
Then, yeah. It really is a good album, the first Allman Brothers. It's on Capricorn. Check it out.
While you're going through the A's.
I'm going through the A's. Sometimes I just grab things too hastily, I guess.
We talked about punk rock life with Solomon.
We did. We talked about a lot of falling down and being drunk and rotten limbs. This has been the Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast. Special thanks to Solomon from Night Fever for appearing on the show. Snaggletooth theme courtesy of Gustav Jord of Defleshed. Sounds of Decay theme courtesy of Steve Rathbone from Lair of the Minotaur. Season 3 artwork courtesy of KC Angel. Get out there to Bandcamp and check out some Archgoat and maybe some Allman Brothers. Decay bands, check them out. Con8, Serpent Corpse, and Krigsgrav. All content 2023. The Snaggletooth Decay Extreme Music Podcast.
What says black metal more than our garden gnome will slay your pink flamingo?
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.